Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Trisha Petito. If you are new here, I am currently doing a series called 12 Weeks of Christmas. It is all about creating projects to get you ready for the Christmas holidays. This week we are doing a fancy fold card. I will be working out of the September to October Christmas catalog. The papers I'm going to be using are on page 24 and 25. They are the mixing coordinating cardstock. I really like these papers because they are a nice variety of both of the paper packs in this catalog. The first three are more of the fall colors and the last three are more of the Christmas colors. I went ahead and selected this particular paper because it was my favorite. I really like the coordinating colors on both sides. So I'm going to select this one and pull it aside. I'm going to go ahead and cut the sizes I need off screen and get them ready. Don't worry, I will make sure that you know the sizes. The cardstock I'm going to choose is 11 by 5.5. And then the pretty paper I'm using is 5 by 5. You're going to need two of those. So you're going to go ahead and take your cardstock and fold it in half. And then this is going to be your base. So probably take a boning folder or something of a hard edge and go ahead and score the end. It's because, like I said, this is your base for your card. I'm going to go ahead and do it several times so I have a nice base for my card. Once that's ready, you can set that aside. And then we're going to make a couple additional cuts. Then you're going to take your pretty pattern paper. Doesn't really matter which side you do, but I found that doing it on the lighter side was easiest. Mark your center. This is a 5-inch piece, so it is 2.5. Once you mark it, you want to cut from your mark, the 2.5, all the way up to the other corner. So it'd be in the middle up to the other corner. You're going to do this on both sides. Make sure you save the pieces that you cut off over to the side. As you see, I just pull it over to the side. You're going to go ahead and do it for your other piece. Mark the middle, which is 2.5, and then cut from your mark up to the corner. I'm going to show you right here from the mark to the corner. Oops, it definitely didn't cut, so we're going to do it again all the way. Make sure the whole cut is all the way through. And for some reason, my cutter was not cooperating, so I moved my blade down to the bottom. And you're going to turn around and do it the other way. From your from your mark to the other corner. Once again, save all your pieces. You're going to do the same exact thing to your cardstock, but you only want to do it to your score line. So let's mark your center, which since this is a 5.5 piece, your center is 2 3/4, so 2.75. But you only want to cut up to the score line. So take your mark at the bottom and only cut up to your score line. Or halfway up the card. Turn it around and you're going to do the same exact thing over again. Cut from your mark up to the other score line or the center of the card. That way you have one side of your card which is full and the other side of the card which is a triangle. There you go. Now I am pointing out that the Close to My Heart cardstock is two sides are different colors. We have that as options for you. I decided to pick the darker color to be on the outside of my card. It doesn't matter, that is personal preference. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere one of my triangles to the outside of my card. You can use whatever glue adhesive is of your choice, is your favorite. I'm using the Tombow glue. It is one of my favorites right now, so I'm going to just use a little bit of that and glue my triangle down. I chose to do the darker pattern on the outside of my card. I really like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and take two of my smaller triangle pieces and put it on each side. What's nice about this Tombow glue is that you can have a little bit of time to adjust where you put everything. So as you're adjusting it, you're going to have a little bit of gap all around your piece. I would say 1/16 of an inch. So there is a little bit of room to make sure you have that space all around your piece. So you should see a little bit of your cardstock around your cut piece. Don't be very careful not to put too much of that glue so that it doesn't squish out. I had that happen to me a few times while I was doing this card and I had to wipe the excess away. So don't get a little too overzealous with your glue. Okay, so this is the tricky part. You want to take your pieces. As I started lining up, I realized I was actually backwards. So you want to be holding your piece. There we go. We want to hold our piece so that our long edge is at the top and it's following along. So there we go. That is the correct way. You'll find that it should be following along the lines of the cards. There we go, along the line and along the line of the card. So I'm going to hold it in front of me the way I want it. That's what I would suggest. And then could I do the same exact pattern as what I already have down? Yes, but I like the idea of putting the reverse side on the front of the card. So I had two different patterns. So I'm going to glue it down so that way my red is showing. I liked two different patterns. Now, if you didn't like the reverse side of the paper, you very much could do it the opposite way and have the same pattern showing. It just depends on what look you're going for. I like the two different pattern papers. And I wanted that pop of red. I thought it was really pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and put these down now. Now I have to be very careful where I put the glue. I only want it on the top of the card. So I'm actually using my fingers. If you're watching where I'm putting my fingers, I'm watching where my fingers are so I know exactly where to put the glue and making sure my lines are where I want them. So I'm kind of guesstimating where I want my triangles. So I put the glue in the appropriate spot. I don't want glue at the bottom, otherwise I would be gluing my card shut. So only put it at the top. Then I realized after I did it, probably wasn't a great idea because if I would have put the glue at the wrong spot, it would have been too low or too high. So when I went to do the second triangle here, I thought probably a better idea if I kind of held it in place and put the glue on after. So I held my finger there and I put the glue on the piece and then laid it down. That seemed to work a little bit better for me. So whichever is a better way for you to do it. Just make sure you don't put glue in the wrong spot so you accidentally close your card down. Now I'm kind of holding my pieces and feeling, is there a spot that I didn't glue all the way? Should I put a little extra more glue on there? Making sure there's no glue sticking out that's going to accidentally close it shut. Just checking over all my pieces. Oop, I need a little bit more glue here. Checking all my excess, make sure there's nothing sticking out like it should or shouldn't. And that is the base of the card. I really liked that and how the red popped, made it very Christmassy. Now this is where you can decide this extra piece that's left over. I decided to go ahead and put up here. At the same time, you could leave this piece off and instead put a photo here. You could use this as a template and cut a photo. Since this is a Christmas card, I could envision you using this triangle and have it as a photo template or the background for a photo. How great would that look if you opened it up and you had a photo of your family here, or a photo of you with your dog, when someone opens up their card, and then do stamping below with your sentiment. That would be beautiful. So there we go. That's the base of the card. I love how that looks. And of course we have to put some beautiful embellishments on the front. So I decided we could do stamping, we could do stickers, but I decided instead, let's do some of our digital art. So SVGs that we can upload into our Cricut or Silhouette and cut them out. It is in our catalog, September, October catalog right there. And it is in our December page 20, let's see, 20, oh boy, 2017, sorry, 17 digital art collection. I decided to use some of the glitter paper and put it under the Merry Christmas, and you will see how that just pops out. Yes, that just pops up beautifully. And we're going to, because it is hard to stick on glitter paper and keep it down, I decided to use a little bit of foam tape. Now, after I put it down, I thought maybe we could have done a little bit more of the thin tape, but it worked beautifully. So I use this tape a lot with the glitter because it is so hard to use glue with, in my opinion. So that looks so nice with that glitter. Oh, I love it. It just made it pop just extra a little bit. And then I'm going to take all these little pieces that I already pre-cut on my Cricut, and we're going to put a little bit of glue on them. I like to, once again, we'll just use this Tombow glue, put a little tiny bit of glue on the back of them. I'm going to use my tweezers here. Love these little tweezers that you can get, and we're just going to put them right down on here. And once again, I have a little bit of time of forgiveness as it's drying. Lets me position everything the way I want them. And what I did is, while I was cutting these on my Cricut machine, I just pulled the paper colors from that card. I just looked at the paper colors, and that's what I used for the item on the Cricut. As I was cutting, I just pulled those paper colors, so everything matched beautifully. I didn't have to worry, and oh, those stickers don't match, or oh, those colors don't quite go. I literally pulled the same exact cardstock colors, so that's why, as you can see, it all matches so perfectly. This little guy was a little more tricky because they're so little, but I was able to get just enough of glue on each one of those berries. I didn't even bother putting glue on the stem because I shoved them right behind the flower. That seemed to work perfect. Try to get it in there just right. Here we go. Okay, so I did have this zip strip over here that was on the paper, and I decided I really wanted to utilize that. So wasn't sure how I was going to do that, so I played around with this for a little bit. I liked the idea of a banner. So I bannered it and cut it down very small. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I knew I had some time to play, and I just started, oops, I just started shoving it in there and just started moving it around and playing with it until I liked the position. And this is personal preference, ladies. What works for you? What do you like? Where do you want it to sit? Um, I just kept on playing with it until I liked where it was. Once again, I bannered a second piece. And just kept on playing with it and until I liked where I had it. Oop. Okay. So I think that's about where I like it. Everything seems to be right about where I like it. Everything's happy. The glue is starting to dry and I like it. So let's get this on the card. Get some glue on this, and that's where it's going to sit. I could 3D foam type this up just to give it a little bit more dimension, but I decided instead I was just going to glue it straight down. Once again, make sure it's on that top flap of the card. Don't want to overlap the bottom and accidentally seal that card shut. And just for a little extra bling, I decided to use some Stickles, some Icicle for the white, and some Christmas red for the red. These are Stickles. Now you have to be very careful once you put these on that you set your card aside and let it dry for a good period of time. Otherwise, it will smear. So right in the middle of the poinsettia there in the middle, I put a little bit of the Icicle, which is a glitter a white glitter to match my Merry Christmas in the background. And then I put some of the Christmas red on the berries. And those made those pop just a little bit. And what I did is I just squeezed just a little bit right in the middle, and then I used the tip, the applicator tip, to move it around. So it wasn't a huge amount, it was just enough to make them sparkle and not be too thick. And there we go. Now, could you add a couple more bling if you wanted to? Absolutely, but I really like how that looks. There's our finished card, ladies. I think that would be a lovely card to send, and you could use all of your stash or new products along with our digital collection from the September-October seasonal catalog. I hope you were inspired by today's card and appreciate you stopping by and spending time with me. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and join me for next week for the next video in my 12 Weeks of Christmas series. Bye!